Oh, he just hasted himself. Oh, fuck. I don't have the spell magic. He's still alive. Yo, he has so much health. I'm basically full health, but I still healed anyway. Keep tempering, my boy. Oh, come on. Go. Go. 4,000. He's still alive? Bro, he's still alive? Bro. Keep tempering him. Just keep temper. Just temper more. Temper more. I love how the protect... Hey, actually... Do we still have Proterra? Yeah, we still have Proterra. Proterra is like never runs out. How about... Let's use Blink. So it'll make our white mage even harder to kill. Oh, maybe I should dispel this thing. 4,000 damage. That's it. We got him. Bro, do you have like 10,000 health? Oh, that's how you end an RPG, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, classic. Oh, it's classic. Field research professional. The time loop was severed at last. I love how they talk about it. But like we just found out about it in the last bit of dialogue with the final boss. There's like a time loop. But the game's acting like we knew about it the whole time. The endless struggle that raged over 2,000 years had ended, and peace prevailed once more. That's fucking metal. I love how they introduced this thing 2 sentences from the end of the game, and they're just like, we finally overcame this time loop. Like, yeah, I guess we did. The light of the 4 crystals restored the forces of wind, water, earth, and fire, and heart. It was a mere trick of fate that had given rise to the chain of Garland's wrath. I love how they have to go back and make it seem like Final Fantasy 1 was like this like well thought out, well planned endeavor. When back then they were like, yo, this is cool, let's throw that in the game. Like, yeah, you're right. Magnified by the 4 fiends meant to guide our world, the trick of fate also gave birth to the fiends. Translation though. I think the 4 forces mean like the 4 elemental like properties. Monsters had run rampant as the world sank into darkness, but all that is now past. With the 4 forces flowing as they were meant, the warriors prepared to cross time and return to the world they knew. A world where Princess Sarah, Queen Jane, oh, she does have a name, and even Garland himself await. How's it going, Raven? You're about to see a platinum pop, by the way. Thank you for the hydrate, Raven. Haven't seen one of those in a while. When was this fateful day that sent the time loops, that sent time spiraling into a loop? None can say. I have a feeling this is answered by Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy 1, a game that probably exists only because Final Fantasy 1 is just all over the place in terms of story and plot. It seemed the cycle into which time had fallen would last forever, but the bravery of 4 young travelers changed that. They took the forces that filled the world with darkness and used them to bathe the world in light. None will ever recall the struggle the 4 endured, for the breaking of the chain means that it never existed. Yeah, listen to this music, man. Oh. Both in the tales of fantasy that people tell, the memory of their deeds lives on. In this, the Final Fantasy. Say it. You know you want to say it. Say the Final Fantasy. Tales of dwarves and elves, of dragons and shining civilizations that reached for the heavens even as they fell. People don't give Final Fantasy 1 enough credit. And now the return is upon us. With the memory of their struggle buried deep in their hearts, they will quietly watch over our world. Look how cheesy this is. It's like someone this is like someone I would write if I was like 13, 14 years old. Remember always, the forces of the world must be used as they were intended. The power of light must never be used for dark, and that the true crystals reside in your heart. Where you are the warrior who crossed time. You are the bringer of light. I love when games do this. They're like, and a special thanks to you, the player. It's like, you are the bringer of light. You are the warrior who crossed time. And they don't make games like this anymore. Oh my god. I know this game came out like 5 days ago. Not what I meant. You are the bringer of light. I wouldn't say it's up there with You Prayed for the Safety of Ness and his friends, but it's knocking on that front door. It's not too far away. My face hurts from smiling so much. You know, like 8 people worked on this game, so the credits probably aren't going to be very long. But there's probably a huge localization effort. A winner is yes, a winner is you indeed. I love how all we got to work with is this like still image of like some random part of the world. I actually don't know how many plats this is making for 2023. Not many. Might be like 4 or 5. Final Fantasy Pixel Remastered staff. Okay, this is where I talk about it, right? If we had like 20 of these, man, this is when I talk about it. First, I'm gonna update the trophies. I'm just gonna update the band because it's gonna pop any second. What? You probably can't hear me. So. What a game. I did not expect to have this much fun going back to the original Final Fantasy. I'll be honest with you guys. I beat Final Fantasy 1, but I felt like it was such a chore when I beat it for when I beat the Dawn of Souls version back in like 2003, 2004, whenever it came out. I was like, man, this game has not aged well at all. The story's barely there. The characters, the characters don't exist. They're just empty vessels. And I don't know. It didn't. But this time, man, wow. I think it's because its simplicity is almost like a breath of fresh air. Like, this is not a game that goes on endlessly about like story and lore. Like, it's so like bric-a-brac. Like, you'll walk into a town and you'll talk to someone and be like, yo, this town's been destroyed by vampires. And it's like, okay. You'll go to someone else and be like, yeah, the vampires are sucking the life out of this town, and they're destroying the earth, so we can't grow anything. It's like, damn, there's a lot of shit going on. Like, they don't waste your time. It's like, they've got like one sentence to get, because, you know, space limitations. They've got like one dialogue box to communicate everything. So you'll talk to them, and they'll just give you what you need to know, right? They're like, bro, this vampire lives up in the mountains. It's sucking all of our livestock, and it comes into our village at night and kills us. And it's like, that's wild. And you go and kill the vampire, and it's like, man, vampires must be a real problem in this world. And you go to somewhere else, and they're like, oh, this evil dark elf has put our prince into a magic slumber. He's been sleeping for 5 years now. The only way to wake him up is to find the magic Jolt tonic. It's held by Matoya, and to help her, you got to get her magic eye. And it's never explained who Matoya is, or what this eye does, or what this cola is. It's like, you just got to get it. Like, and then as soon as you do that, you're off doing something else. Like, you're just always doing something. This game is only probably 15 hours for a first playthrough. and that's getting 100%. But in those 15 hours, tons of shit happens. You go to the dwarves and you meet them, and you blow up a continent to open the way to the rest of the ocean. You get a boat, you get a canoe, you get an airship. You get to play that 15 game that I suck at. You go to like 8 or 9 different towns, and all of them have decent dialogue that kind of elaborates on like the lore of the world. You go through time, you do all this stuff, and it packs so much into such a tiny little a space. There's like so many ideas here, and almost none of them are developed. But there's like these little hints of you know, like a past civilization that could fly. You know, the Luthinians. And they're like, oh yeah, by the way, Tiamat destroyed our entire civilization, and that's why there's only like 10 of us left, and we live in this tiny little town in the middle of nowhere. But like, they don't elaborate endlessly on it. Like, you don't need to learn too much about it. It's just like, wow, that's kind of interesting. It's almost like a D&D campaign, where not everything's super fleshed out, but there's always these hints that something else is going on. This is going to be the last of the water. Bro, only like 8 people made this game, but there's like about 1 million people it took to remaster it and do the pixel. I mean, okay, to be fair, the pixel remaster isn't just a fresh coat of paint. They basically remade this entire game. They rebalanced it. So if you guys didn't know, the original Final Fantasy 1 is probably one of the hardest RPGs I've ever played in my life. And it's hard because the Marsh Cave and the Earth Cave. So pretty early on, remember the Marsh Cave and the Earth Cave? Like, I think we did that the first day. There are a lot of enemies in those areas that cast stone, or they cast break, which turns you into stone. There's no way to like cure it. The only way to cure it is with an item, and the item is in the original version is super expensive, and items don't drop from enemies. So there's a good chance if you meet a cockatrice and it stones your warrior, you're just down a warrior. Like, you're fucked. It would almost be better if he killed the warrior, because then you could res him with a very expensive Phoenix down. Oh, thank you for the stretch, Rin. Oh. But this version is obviously a much easier game. I wouldn't say it's completely brain dead, especially Chaos. So the temper spell and the haste spell are super overpowered, especially when used on a monk, because a monk's strength basically goes up endlessly as long as you level, whereas the other all the other classes are limited by their magic level, or they're limited by the amount of weapons they have. But a monk can just go on forever. And I think Vezd did like 4,500 damage. Like, his first attack with no buffs was like 200 damage. And his last attack with all those buffs was like 4,500. So we're talking, what? A 20 time... a 2,000% difference between unbuffed monk and buffed monk? Like, it fucking boggles the mind. Like, if you couldn't just raise attack power endlessly, yeah, Chaos probably would have been more of a challenge. But because you can increase your own attack power to like something like 20 times your base, yeah, eventually Chaos is gonna fall down. Like, he's, you know, eventually you're gonna knock him down. Is a bundle purchase? No, I bought. Okay, I know how I am. Sometimes I get really excited about something, but then I kind of just like lose interest. I know how I am. So I bought the first game. I bought Final Fantasy 1. I'm like, let's see what it's all about, you know? Maybe I don't want to play all the games right away. So, like, here's my thinking. Later on, it's going to drop in price. You know? So if I buy all the games now, I'm basically saying I don't want to save money later on, right? And you can buy them individually. Well, I just bought Final Fantasy 1, and I can't wait to buy Final Fantasy 2. I cannot wait. I'm probably going to stream a bit early tonight because I gotta wake up super early tomorrow. But I am looking forward to playing Final Fantasy 2. I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy 2. A big fan of the music of Final Fantasy. I think Final Fantasy 2 was the game where Uematsu really kind of figured out what he was doing. And he realized this was going to be like an ongoing series, so he's like, okay, I'm going to go a little a little harder with the music because this game was just one of many that Uematsu worked on. I think this was like his 10th or 11th video game, and he was thinking about just leaving video games completely. He was just doing this for some scratch on the side. But Final Fantasy II was like, okay, this thing's a hit. We're probably gonna make more of these. You know, if I really put my heart and soul into this, I could really, you know, make a fat stack. And now Uematsu is like one of the most heralded composers of all time. The Platinum Pop has not happened yet, and you know how we are. You know how we are at Platinum Pursuit. We always watch the credits. Man, I really need to put this microphone in a different way, because when I turn to look at you guys, I turn my head away from the mic, and sometimes I can hear it when I listen back to the playback. What did you guys think? Franco, I don't know how long you were here, but and I don't think Vez is here anymore. I think he went to work. But Sumo was here for pretty much the entire playthrough, and I've been pretty good about uploading the VODs to YouTube and also publishing the VODs on Twitch. So I think if you're at all curious, you probably were able to see pretty much the entire thing. I think that the total time of all the VODs together is probably only like 12, 13 hours. Sure, the top, I'll maybe think otherwise. Yeah, so I thought... so we actually don't really have it yet. Let me reflect what it actually is. So we're missing one silver trophy. And we're missing one silver trophy. And that one silver trophy is from beating the game. So obviously we beat the game. We're looking at the credits right now. But the game just hasn't, like, registered it yet. I'm not sure when the game will register it yet. I was here now and then. I was lurking today and just happened to hop back on the PC as you... Oh, excuse me. Production executive Yosuke Matsuda. That's Yasmat. That's the guy that Yasmat is named after in Final Fantasy XII. I keep knocking this microphone. I'm sorry. The end. Oh, it's so adorable. Yeah, but where's the trophy pop? Come on. Are we gonna be on the screen forever until we hit X? All right, I'm gonna hit X, and that's probably gonna be the trophy pop. Yeah, save completed game data. Yeah, sure. Let's do it at the bottom. Prophecy foretold? Master of One. Master of One. These platinum titles kind of suck. They just say Master of One, Master of Two, Master of Three, Master of Four. You could even say Master of Final Fantasy, Master of Final Fantasy 2, you know, or even like True Warrior of Light. Like, you couldn't even get creative with it? No, just Master of One. Sony, hire me and I will name all your platinum trophies, and I'll do a damn good job. That was platinum number 89.